Good morning, students. Welcome to the first session to the Introduction to Organizational Behavior, the first chapter of the paper Organizational Behavior. This is a very interesting paper which is a part of psychology. So, when you're studying this paper, you'll be studying a little bit about human psychology, the human behavior, which will be exhibited in the organizational and the analysis of the same in the organizational context. How an employee behaves, what are the reasons for such a behavior, what are the measures in case if there is any problem, what are the measures to keep the employees motivated. All these are the part of the mind. So there is a saying, where there is a will, there is a way, which emphasizes that the mind is the one which has the strongest power, and it is very important to control our mind and our actions. So let us see about these in these few chapters which are there as a part of the syllabi of the organizational behavior syllabus for BBA 5th sem. So let us start with the meaning and definition of organizational behavior. So the two main important definitions are given by Keith Davis and Stephen Robbins. So let us say how they define organizational behavior as. So Keith Davis defines organizational behavior as that it is the study and knowledge about how people as individual act within organization. So very clearly it is given, it is a study. A study is being carried on to understand how people behave, what are the behaviors they display, and we try to gather a body of knowledge and try to understand or try to solve the problems which are there in the organization. Similar, there's another definition given by Stephen Robbins. So Stephen Robbins says that organizational behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact of individual, groups and structures have on the behavior within the organization. So this is little broader here. So again mentioning it is a field of study. Why it is mentioned as a field of study? Because even to this day there are researches being carried, mainly because of after the World War II, the need to study the behavior of human beings was understood, and accordingly the researches have been taking place, and even to this day there are researches taking place, and it is not established discipline, so that will take time. So till then these researchers keep on going. Now here in this definition given by Stephen Robbins, it says that investigates the impact. Impact is to mean the result, the consequence of how individuals, groups and structures. So when we say individuals, we generally, if you take your classroom situation, your friends, your benchmates sitting along with you will have certain influence on you. So accordingly you act or behave. Similarly, groups also, your friends group will have an impact on you, their influences on you. There are certain decisions which you will take according to the group or according to what your friends say, rather than to understand what is your need or what is essential for you. So that is the second aspect. And the third aspect, that is structures. When I say structures, it is to mean the position of the person. What is the position of the person in the employee cadre, that is the organization structure? What are they working as, whether at the lower level as the executives or the middle management level as the managers or junior managers, senior managers. So what is their position? Accordingly will be the behavior also. So these three things mainly affect a human behavior in the organization, that is within the company. So this is what they say and this is what we observe. So mainly organizational behavior is comprising of three important aspects. The first one is the study of human behavior. So the very important factor, we are studying totally all about human beings and their behavior. These are the only two things which you have to focus on. The next is the study is about behavior in organization. So when we say human behavior, it is behavior given within the organizational framework in a company. When you or in the workplace, when you go to a work, how do you behave? How do you talk with your colleagues there? How do you talk to your friends there? How you talk to your managers there? So all these things will be studied. The third important aspect, it is the knowledge about human behavior which should be useful in improving an organization's effectiveness. So it is all these are the knowledge. It is sometimes a mind game. So this person at a superior level who is at the senior manager level needs to know this very well. How to manage his employees, that is what becomes important. So for these to manage employees also, he should understand the human behavior. So that is the main essence of the subject organizational behavior, where you will be studying all about human being, the behavior, especially in the organization context. So now let us move on to the nature of the subject, that is nature of organizational behavior. So these are few points which you can see on the screen. So here the very first point, which is also stressed in the definitions, it is a field of study and not a discipline. You can call a subject a discipline only when it is well established and when the rules can be tested every now and then. But here, in case of organizational behavior, that is not the case. First thing, it is field of study because the researchers are going on, study on human behavior is going on, and the human behavior varies from each person. What can be expressed by one person may not be expressed by the other person. So those researches are still happening and it cannot be tested. The result will not be the same in case of every individual. Say let us suppose in case of science, if you take any one particular rule or any particular event, you can test it. Say for example, if you remember the litmus test, where you would use the litmus paper and try to see the color whether it will be blue or pink. So every time you test, there are only two colors going to come, blue or pink. But in case of human beings, you cannot test because the reactions, the response will be totally different. So that is why it is not an established body of knowledge. It is yet to be established. So that is why it is still a field of study and not a discipline. The second aspect is that it is interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary approach is that this particular subject does not have the rules or principles of its own. Everything is borrowed. Say there are subjects which you study, anthropology. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Then it takes from sociology. Sociology is all about the study of societies, how the societies have formed, how they have originated, and how they have developed over the period of time. And political science, because when the number of people are more, definitely there is politics, there is need for power, need and greed for power. So all these things happen. So what happens is when we study behavior, you are not studying behavior alone. It is it is a combination of all these. We need to see what is the family background of the person, because the parents, their values, the all affect a person a lot. Similarly, again, as a human being, we have seen we have different races. We are Asian race belonging to the Indian country and the Asia. You have the Western people, you have the Korean and the Japanese and all who belong to the Mongolian tribe. So there is various kind of races. So those things also affect. So that is why it is interdisciplinary approach. So the again, as said, you cannot test a same rule or the same event for everyone. So that is the second main feature of organizational behavior. The next is an applied science. Applied science is whatever is known, you're trying to apply it in the organizational context, and you're trying to get some results out of it. Like in the case of science, similarly in case of the that is organizational behavior also, researches are taking place, and you're trying to find out how can an organization function better. The next feature is normative and value centered. So when I say normative, normative is to say, I mean what has to happen in the normal circumstances. So in the normal circumstance, what should have happened? That is what is being, that is expressed in the so here, that is what is meant to be normative. Normative is there, what it prescribes, what has to happen in normal circumstance. So when it in the normal circumstance, it is like you can come to college. Maybe the regular time is 9 by 9 o'clock you have to reach to college, classes go on, and so on is the case. But now it is not a normal time, so there is a different method. So like that, organizational behavior also prescribes normally what things should have happened. And again, with the value system, what values are being followed by the society, by the organization, these things will be affecting the human behavior. The next is humanistic and optimistic. So humanistic is that it is based that it is mainly revolving around people, and that is why you have to keep some that is humanistic approach. You need to accept the value of the individual and also appreciate their creativity, their thinking, their potentials. All these things has to be appreciated and accepted. The other more thing is that they are human beings, not machines. This point also has to be taken into consideration. So at such a time, what requires is there is a constant requirement for motivation, monitoring, and supervision. So that is what is humanistic. And optimistic is to mean where you believe that your employees can work independently, or they do not require much guidance. They are rational being who can work on their own when provided with certain guidance. So that approach has to be, that is maintained by the superior. So that is what is the other feature of organizational behavior. The next is oriented towards organizational objectives. So the main purpose of study of organizational behavior, or the study of human beings in the organizational context, is that we want to get better results from their work. We want to earn more profit. We want to contribute back to the society. We want to ensure our employees' welfare also. So in this in this point, it is important we see that the whatever behavior is being displayed or exhibited by the employee is directed towards getting better results, better work, and better achievement of the goals which has been set. in the beginning of every year, certain goals are set by the organization and the department, and it is necessary for the employees to achieve them. So at such a time, it is very important to motivate the employees and see that we get this results in the direction of the goal set. So for this purpose, we will be studying the organizational behavior subject. And the last point, that is total systems approach. So the total systems approach is that we are as a that is human beings are always considered a social animal. Social animal is to mean we cannot stay alone. We always require some human beings or people around us, maybe in the form of family, maybe in the form of friends, maybe in the form of the superiors or whatever. So we have to constantly interact and achieve our work targets. So and in this point, there are so many factors which will be affecting the human behavior. So that is why the total system approach will be followed while studying the organizational behavior, because the behavior of an individual is not just because of one reason alone or one factor alone. We have to consider all the factors because of which a person is displaying a particular behavior. So these are the factors or that is the features of the organizational behavior subject. So with the next, that is the fundamental concepts, or also known as foundations of organizational behavior, we shall continue in the next session.